I hope everybody is enjoying their weekend so far, and I hope everybody is having a good day. I wanted to jump on here today and just talk a little bit about witchcraft and my experiences with that. Um, I have experienced witchcraft in a variety of forms. The one I want to focus on today is regarding people, specifically men, members of the opposite sex. The devil knows how to infiltrate and distract you because he studies you, and he definitely knows what piques your interest. Um, just growing up in a narcissistic family dynamic, there's a Bible verse. Let me get it really quick. It says, "A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord." Growing up in a narcissistic family dynamic, I have seen it unfold to where my dad divorced my mother and he remarried a woman that is a practicing witch. Um, I think in order for people to meet an equal, a godly person of the opposite sex, I think it requires a lot of work, a lot of patience. You need to be able to control your physical needs. You need to be emotionally mature. There's a whole bunch of different things that fall into that. Things like that take time. But what the devil wants to do is give you everything immediately without the work. And a lot of people tend to fall into that. And I am and have been one of those people. We all do make mistakes, but I specifically want to talk about the time that I interacted with a warlock. In my life, I don't meet people by chance. Nothing is random, everything is strategic. So I know when somebody pops up, there's a reason behind it. But there was a gentleman that was put into my life, and we were talking. Everything always starts out really slow, right? You go out to dinner, you go do fun activities, go golf, go to the pool, you know, have them over, watch a movie, things of that sort, right? Um, Hindsight is always 2020. I can look back now and I have been able to identify what has happened. The things that has happened to me may not have happened to you, but they do all fall under the umbrella of symptoms of witchcraft, okay? What I first started experiencing with this particular person, I was having dreams. I was having dreams where I would see snakes. I had a few dreams where I was running from something. The longer I started speaking to this person and the more intimate we were getting on like an emotional level, I should say, the dreams kind of morphed into me being given things to eat, given things to drink. I had no control in my dreams of what I was eating or drinking. It almost felt like something was making me do it. But I also noticed while I was having the dreams, during my waking life, things kind of started to unravel. I had been working for a person, caregiving for her, and out of nowhere, she just started letting the other people that worked for her go, and I was the last person that she let go. But everything started to unravel. I wasn't able to get another job. I was having problems sleeping. Just the things that were going on didn't make any sense. The fact that I couldn't find a job, I have mentioned in a previous video that I have management experience across the board. Salon, retail, food, office. There is no reason for me not to get a job. I did hair for 15 years. I've been caregiving too. I'm certified with the Alzheimer's Association. There is absolutely no way I would not be able to get a job, but I wasn't able to get one. So the more intertwined that I was getting with this person, luckily enough, I was not subjected to losing absolutely everything. I know there are some people that do lose their house, their job, their home. I mean, absolutely everything when they're fallen under witchcraft, right? But just in my personal experience, I was having a hard time getting a job. My finances took a hit. At least I luckily have people that do care about me, and I was able to maintain what I was doing. Definitely the dreams. And after I stopped talking to this individual, I started getting attacked at night. There was one dream that I had where something was following me around in this house. I went upstairs in the house on the upper level. Whatever it was trying to get me to walk through the door. Okay. So every time I walk into a different room, be like, oh, come over here. And then try to get me to like open up like a closet door or something. So then I'd go out into the hallway and go into the bathroom, and then they'd try to get me to walk back out of the bathroom, or, just a very strange dream, right? But in this particular dream, I decided to walk from upstairs down the stairs into the living room. Well, the front door was right there at the bottom of the staircase, right? And it was slightly cracked open, okay? And then as soon as I walked past it, I heard my name being called. And as I turned in the dream to my left, some hands, I'm going to say plural, because it wasn't just one pair of hands, it was multiple pairs of hands, tried to pull me out through the door, and I woke up. And then I woke up to physically being pulled up in my bed, okay? And I know it was a warlock just for the simple fact that for about 2 weeks after I stopped talking to this individual, I was having bad dreams, having a hard time sleeping at least 4 times a week, okay? But the moment that I stopped talking to this individual, what you have to do when you're under a witchcraft attack, you have to raise your vibration, right? And I can honestly admit that I was operating in a lower form of myself, drinking here and there, participating in fornication, things of that sort, right? So in order to be able for witches and warlocks to infiltrate what you're doing, you have to be operating in a vibration that's low enough for them to penetrate, okay? Witches, warlocks, all of that operate on a very low vibration. You have to raise it in order to get your own, in order to get out of the situation or have it impact it in a positive way, right? So I stopped fornicating and drinking and everything else. You do have to repent for that. And, everything has a specific reason why it happens to you, right? But I also noticed that after I stopped talking to this individual, I was able to get another job, I would say within about a month and a half or so. It's really discouraging applying for, 5, 10, 15 different jobs, and you're not getting a call back at all. And then you come to find out later on it was because of somebody else. I also know it was a warlock too, because this particular individual lost his job right after everything transpired. What they're taking from you has to be reciprocated back. But I just wanted to get on here and share my experiences a little bit. If I think of anything else, I will leave it in the comment section. But yeah, definitely the dreams, disrupted sleep patterns, like getting physically attacked at night, not being able to get a job, losing a job, having it impact my finances. I did also get a rash all over my body. I'm somebody that does get eczema a lot, but this was a different type of flare up. Okay. When you kind of put all of this together, you can kind of see where some of this stuff might be coming from. But also, the rash disappeared as soon as I stopped talking to this person. They are feeding off of your energy and manipulating it to use it to benefit them. Okay. This is kind of where destiny swapping can come into play. These people steal from you in a way kind of like the devil does. Steals, kills, and destroys, right? Seeks, steals, kills, and destroys, okay? And try to use it to the benefit. So like I said, like when you're trying to if you raise your vibration, you should be able to stop a lot of whatever is going on. But I did want to just get on here and talk about that. Like I said, if I think of anything else, I will definitely leave it in the comments. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do the rest of the day is probably go to the pool. So I hope all of you guys have a great weekend, and I'll get back on here when I can. Thanks. You guys, I almost forgot to mention one of the most important aspects of my experience with this warlock, right? Right after I stopped talking to him, as I had just mentioned, I started having really bad dreams for about 2 weeks, about 4 times a week. And in these dreams, that particular person was the one attacking me in the dreams. And I actually had a couple of dreams where he violated me sexually in the dream. I don't know if any of you are familiar with astral projection or not, but I would definitely recommend doing some research on that. There are different levels of demonic activity, as I've noticed within people. And some of these people are born into families that actively practice witchcraft. So, and a lot of these people, nobody thinks that anything that they're doing is wrong, casting spells. Let me just get, sprinkle a little bit of this in somebody's food and they'll fall in love with me. Let me do a yoni steam, whatever the case is. But there are severe spiritual ramifications for what you do to other people. Okay. I have heard the craziest stories about witchcraft, with putting spells on people. But just in my particular experience, this individual was astral projecting into my dreams. When he finally realized that he was not going to be able to infiltrate and interfere or drain my energy anymore, the activity in the dreams stopped. And I have not had any issues since then. But everything is a learning lesson. Everything happens for a reason. And I just wanted to share what I experienced in hopes that if you find yourself in a similar experience, that this might encourage you to do a little bit more research on how to elevate yourself to protect yourself from getting invaded like that. So, but I hope all of you guys have a good rest of your day. I am going to the pool now. Thanks. Bye. Okay. I remembered one other thing. Last thing, I swear. But when I got food or something given to me that was edible from this particular individual, I would immediately get very, very tired. There was one instance where I ate something with him, and then we sat on the couch and I watched a movie with him, and I fell asleep, right? I fell asleep for about an hour. Actually, this happened a couple times, okay? I would eat what we were eating that he gave to me, and then I would get tired. I would fall asleep for maybe about an hour or so. And then when I woke up, he would be sitting there next to me. If this happens, this is also a symptom, which could be a symptom of witchcraft. And that's a good indication that the person that is sitting next to you is the one that's been draining your energy and is the culprit behind the chaos in your life. But yeah, I can't think of anything else. But yeah, I just want to throw that in there. I'm going to the pool for sure now. All right, bye.